show you an advanced tutorial, so I'm not going to do much explanation here, about using the scissors. Now, when it comes to using weapons, as you advanced users already know, you have to really be proficient at it, and you have to keep on practicing those weapons in order for you to naturally do them. And I mean by naturally, by doing them instinctively, and that your muscle memory is sharp enough for you to use those weapons whenever you needed them, especially in doing self-defense. This is a tutorial for the scissors, for using the scissors. So for those of you who are familiar with using the karambit knife, this might be easier for you to learn and easier for you to adapt with. For those who are not, it's okay. I'm still going to walk you through this whole video on how to use the scissors properly as a weapon. Now, for using the scissors, it's mostly for deterrent purposes. So you just want to intimidate your opponent most of the time. But if need be, you'll be using it as a self-defense weapon as a last resort. Repeat, as a last resort. And we all know that when it comes to self-defense. Before I continue, this is by no means better than Vampire's Scissors tutorial video. If you have not seen it, please go to Vampire's tutorial for the scissors, because I strongly recommend that to watch that, because all of his basics on holding the scissors is phenomenal. It's really on point, and I could not agree more with it. So check it out. This video, however, is going to be just an additional to what already had Vampire stated from his past videos. So I'm going to post a link on the description box or wherever here in this video for you to watch it first if you have not experienced using the scissors yet. So with that said, let's begin. Now first off, we have to learn about the posture when using the scissors. So your posture would be most likely your shoulder and elbow will be in line, which makes your whole arm stay at the 90-degree angle. When you're more comfortable in the long run, your forearm will slightly be here. So your arm will be at the 45-degree angle and not down here. And I'll explain the reasons why later. So in the beginning, your arm is going to be at the 90-degree angle. So your elbow, shoulders are in line. The difference is your wrist is not going to be in line with your elbow. See how straight my wrist is? You're going to let your wrist relax. See? So instead of having your wrist straight, you're going to let it relax. And there's a reason for that. Next is you're going to have your hand position, instead of this, you're going to have it this way. I really don't know if you can see that, but you're going to let your index finger be in this position. So if I do this, making a number 3, like so, you're going to put your thumb here, and then your index finger will stay inside of the palm of your hand. But instead of having it this way, you're going to just slightly bend your index finger, like so. So the position is going to be like this, if you're practicing this right now while watching the video. So like so, and then you let your wrist relax. Keep in mind that in doing this, you have to let your hand be relaxed the whole time. Because if you're going to let your hand stiff, especially this whole portion of your arm, the tendency is that most likely the scissors will fly out, because your arm is stiff, and the scissors will not be able to flow with your arm movement if you're going to do all the fancy stuff. So 90-degree angle, elbow, shoulder in line, wrist instead of straight, relaxed, and have your hand position, fingers position in this way. The reason why you want your index finger slightly hooked instead of entirely locked like this is so that your scissor will be able to hang like so, if I do it here. So if I follow my posture right here, 90-degree angle, wrist relaxed, do this hand motion, I put my scissor here, and you see that the scissor naturally hangs on my index finger. You can have your other 3 fingers, middle finger to the pinky finger, wide open or closed, it doesn't matter, as long as these three fingers right here, like so, are relaxed. They're not stiff, they're relaxed. Okay? So you let your scissors hang like so. Now, key point in holding the scissors, just like holding a knife like this, is to let the scissor loose when you're releasing it. So if you're holding the scissor like so here, letting your wrist bend, relaxed, you're going to hold the scissors instead of doing it straight like this, and you release the scissor, it will freely fall, or freely swing rather, because you're using the Earth's gravity, Earth's gravitational pull in order to let the scissor naturally hang loose. And the reason why you want that is because you don't want to use excessive force in order to swing the scissors, because your main point in doing this is to let the scissors swing in this motion, naturally. Because if you're going to have your wrist straight together with your elbow, there's a tendency that your body will move along in order to get that same effect on the scissor. So the difference would be, instead of doing this, see how my elbow wants to rise up if I have my wrist straight? Whereas if you have your wrist bent and relaxed, and you're doing this motion, like so, you're just going to flick your wrist and the scissor will still do that motion. See? Like so. As I do it in slow motion here. See? It's like I'm opening my hand magically, and the scissor just swings in a circular motion. So if I do it here, so that you can see the palm side. See? I'm just flicking my wrist, and it's not even a full flick. It's just like 1/4. Almost motionless. Like so. Now, after doing that, if you're really proficient with it and you practice it a whole lot of times, then you would want to do some or part of the fancy stuff. So instead of just doing this motion, so you just let the scissor hang like this, and it takes time to practice this, because if you're not used to it, you'll get the whole lot of times where the scissors will be flying all over the place. So yeah, this is the reason why this is advanced, and it's only for weapon users, especially those who are proficient with it, so that they'll be able to adapt to whatever weapons that they could find in order to defend themselves. The danger of playing with the scissors, in normal terms, is that the scissors will tend to fly, like so. Especially if you're doing it fast, like this, just to get the feeling. And if you're doing it too fast, the scissor will tend to open up. So if I do it right here, see where the scissor ends up being? It's now open. And I did not even do the open hand, close open hand motion. I just flick it with my wrist, letting this hand posture remain the same. So do it slow. If you're using a karambit, if you're used to using the karambit, then you're very, very familiar with this motion. So you have to do the scissors slow. And you don't want the scissors to open up right now, but you would want to open up the scissors in your terms. So if you don't want the scissors to open up, you're going to remain it closed, and you're going to keep the motion very, very slow. Not really, really fast. If it's opening up, if you're doing it fast in practice, just close, like so. You'll feel it eventually, because it also practices the sensitivity of your fingers in practicing the scissors. Now, for the semi-fancy stuff, instead of having your hand motion this way, your wrist is still relaxed, and your elbow and shoulders are still in line with each other, so your arm is still in 90 degrees. instead of having your scissors hang this way, what you're going to do is to let your scissors be outside of your 3 fingers. See? So instead of having your hand this way, what will happen is you're going to have it in reverse. So your index finger is now on top, and the other remaining fingers will be on the inside. So almost having like an L but folded, and that your 3 fingers are loosed. Like so. So instead of having it this way, you're going to have it this way. So your scissor is now on the outside. Instead of the inside, it's now on the outside. You can choose to semi-close your fist and let your index finger just hook the scissors, but that'll be way too hard right now, so you're going to have it semi-open. It also trains your wrist, actually. So after this, what you're going to do is do the same motion, and then go back. See? You flick the wrist so that the scissors will do the circular motion. In this case, partly circular because it's not full. And then you open your hand and just grab the scissor. Lightly, not tight. You're not going to do this because it'll really make your arm really tired. So, scissors outside, your other 3 fingers semi-folded, flick the wrist. There you have it. Once again, this side, 3 remaining fingers semi-folded, your index fingers hooked, hooking the scissor outside. Your wrist is relaxed, not straight, just letting it loose. Flick the wrist towards you and grab it like so. Once you're proficient in doing this, so if you're proficient already in doing this motion and you're proficient in doing this, you may decide to mix things up. So instead of doing them separately, you're going to combine them now. So, see. Going to let your hand remain open if you want to change rhythm. That's the point. So that the opponent will stay intimidated whenever they want to go at you. And they see you holding scissors, because most people will say, "Scissors? What will scissors do to me?" And then they saw you do that, they would think twice on tackling you or so. Change rhythm. Like so. Now, after doing this motion, and you already got this motion down, mixing it up, you'd want to do the scissors sideways, and then bring it to its original position. So the reason why you have your scissors like this, hooked on the outside, in the second part that I showed a while ago, is so that you can do this motion, so close. So in Arnie's Cagliari Eskrima, you're going to do a closing motion with your body. So your hand is right here, and then you open, and then you flick the wrist so that the scissors will come back to your hand in its original position. So once again, so instead of just doing this motion, like so, you'd eventually want to do this motion. Swing here. So you're just going to put your hand here, scissor will follow. On this side, scissor will follow. Keep in mind that you have to let your index finger stay in a hook position. And then flick the wrist to bring your scissor back to the inside of the palm of your hand. So once again, as I do it in slow motion, scissors are outside, 3 index fingers are relaxed. Do this motion, do this, and then bring it back. Flick the wrist. One of the key points here is to just flick the wrist. You don't have to use your arms, just the wrist. So bring the scissors out again. Here, swing, open, flick. Bring it out, swing, open, flick. Bring it out, swing, open, flick. Eventually, if you got that down, what will happen is going to be like so. See? You're going to make a figure 8 motion out of it if you're going to do it in a decent speed. So instead of doing this, this, and this in slow motion, if you already got it down, you'll eventually do a figure 8 motion. Just like so. See? You can also choose to continue to do that up until you want to close the scissors. Oops. See, that's one of the main reasons why this is advanced. I just threw my scissors around 2 feet away. You'd want to do it in a normal speed. And while you're doing this, there's a tendency that your scissors will open up as well. More likely so than before. So if you don't want your scissors to open up yet, you would always want to bring it back to the palm of your hand inside and close it. But if you don't want to close it and you want the scissors to open, you may want to just do this. Just do the figure 8 motion. And then, whenever you want to bring the scissors back to your hand to the starting position, you always would want to flick the wrist in order to bring the scissors back into your hand. So instead of just having scissors on the outside and on any part of your hand hanging out, just want to bring it back like this. So let's say I do this motion. Oops. Do this motion right here. And I want to bring it back. Like so. See? Oh. That's 3 times already. Yeah, I know. And I'm doing this uncut to show you how dangerous it is to practice the scissors if you're not really careful. Like so. So, how fast would you want to use the scissors? If you're really proficient and you have memorized the scissor, not just the scissor techniques, but the scissors itself, because you would want to really feel when will the scissor open up, when you would want to close the scissors, like so, and the weight of the scissors that you're using, because depending on the scissors that you're using, if it's too big, like the scissors that you're familiar seeing with seams, with those who are in the tailoring business, they're exactly huge. They're really huge, and you don't want to use those scissors if you want to constantly do speed stuff. Because the bigger, as we all know in physics, the bigger the object, the higher the acceleration. The higher the acceleration, the harder it is to stop that big object. Same with the scissors. So the smaller the scissors that you're using, the easier it is to stop it, and the more control you have in doing the stuff that you want to do with the scissors, speed-wise or technique-wise, like so. And if I have not mentioned yet, for weapon users, it's best to be proficient using the weapon with both hands. So if you're doing it with your right, you should also do it with your left. Like so. Oops. Obviously that I need to train more on my left since I'm right-handed. So there you have it. And if you have not practiced using the scissors yet and you're still beginning to do so, for those of you who are not proficient with using the karambit, I would suggest to have a scissor like this. Yes, this is a kiddie scissors, and you may laugh now, but it will really save you a whole lot of time and injury if you're going to use scissors that are as blunt, or as dull rather, as this, not really sharp. eventually you would want to practice that. If you find broken scissors along the road or along the junkyard where both handles are separated already, not the handles, but the entire scissors are separated, you would want to practice that first. So take those, practice it, and just do the flicking motion right here. Now the good part in practicing the scissors is that unlike the karambit, the scissors is not considered a weapon unless you're going to use it in self-defense. So if you're working in an office, just find a decent scissors that's this size, that fits your hand, and just flick it while you're thinking about your job on how to finish those projects or how to finish your homeworks, assignments, and all that stuff. And then you're going to have a eureka moment, and yeah, I do that a whole lot. So there you have it, an advanced tutorial for using the scissors, and I hope that this video has helped you in some way, or even in the littlest way possible. I know that the video is too long. I apologize for that, but this is for you advanced users out there, so it might be worthwhile to watch the whole thing. So if you have not yet, again, watch OnePower's tutorial video on the scissors, and this is just an additional information on what OnePower had already done using the scissors. So thanks so much. God bless you all. Always stay safe and take care.